The strategy that will allow you to live rent-free with this NACA loan is called house hacking. If you're not familiar, house hacking is simply you buying a home or a multifamily. And with the multifamily, it's 4 units or 2 to 4 units with the multifamily. And so you live in one unit because you have to live in the home with the NACA loan, and then you're renting out the other. So let's say there's a 4 unit. Remember, it cannot be over 4 units. Anything over 4 units is considered commercial, and you cannot get a NACA or any home loan for that per se. So let's say you get a 4 unit. It looks more so like a small apartment. It really looks like a regular house, but it has 4 apartments in there. But that's considered residential. So you can buy that type of building, multifamily building, right, with a NACA loan or residential loan. You live in one unit and you rent out the other 3 units. The way you will live free is that when you rent out the other units, let's say your mortgage is $2,000. After everybody pays their rent, you will be breaking even, or you may be making profit, right? Depending on your area, depending on the cost of rent. So that is the idea of house hacking. That's how you will be living rent free. I'm going to put in the description box and in the comments down below how I have been able to house hack, how the amount that I've paid, the least amount that I ever paid was $50 for my mortgage, and the process on how that has worked for me. And how I've been able to do that. So make sure you check out my real estate playlist on how to do that entire process. But that's the idea on how you will be able to live rent-free, house hacking. If you're new here, I am a real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent in the state of Maryland since 2016. So I'm just here to share with you guys the information that I do know. I actually did use NACA for a period of time, and I will tell you guys my experience. But actually, before I do that, let's talk about what is NACA. NACA is a program that allows you to get a loan through NACA, right? They offer home loans for you to get into a home with no down payment. That's literally zero, no down payment. And with that opportunity, you do have to fall within their eligibility criteria, which I feel like is not hard. As long as you don't make over a certain amount of money, I believe they said the median income based on the United States, then you would qualify, as long as you don't own any other property and certain things. I do know that you obviously need to do certain tasks to show that you can pay the mortgage every month. So pretty much, let's say for example, and this is from my experience when I went through the process with NACA, if you're looking to pay a mortgage of $1,500 a month, and let's say your rent is $1,500 a month, you just would need to show that you've been able to pay that $1,500 a month for, I believe, a year. If, for example, you want a $1,500 a month mortgage, but you're only paying $1,200 a month, you would need to basically show that you paid your $1,200 rent for a year, but you also you're also able to put, I want to say maybe it's 6 to 12 months. I could be wrong. And this is where you're going to want to speak to a NACA specialist. But the difference of the $1,200 and $1,500, so $300, you want to show that you can consistently every month put away $300 every month for 6 to 12 months. The reason they do this is to make sure that you can put all of the money towards the mortgage every single month without defaulting, right? Without having the risk of not being able to pay your mortgage. And so that is going to be, I would say that's the biggest obstacle, if I'm being honest, when it comes to NACA. Because the moment you mess up, you got to start all over. The moment you make a mistake, you got to start all over. And it's very frustrating. If I'm being transparent, when I went through NACA, you get a counselor assigned to you. And anytime you get a new counselor, it kind of delays your process. And I don't know what happens on the back end of NACA, but I can tell you that they get a lot of new counselors very often. But I don't want to discourage anybody, because if you're looking for a free down payment, it's worth it. I said I was going to pay my $6,000 and just get into a house. And that's, I looked at it like it wasn't a lot of money. And I was able to end up renting my place. I was only paying $50 a month, right? Because my mortgage was $1,600 a month. I was able to find renters for my place, and I was able to cover my mortgage where I was only paying $50 a month. So I was like, I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to just pay the money, the down payment, right, and not go through NACA, because the process was extending past the time of my time frame personally. But if you're like, you know what, I'm not trying to pay that money, whatever the case might be, then yes, that's fine. What I would recommend is go to the NACA website. I'm going to put the NACA website here on the screen. You want to go to the NACA website and you want to find a local office. Find a local office, give them a call, and also they have a FAQ on their website. You want to go through, ask them whatever questions that you might have. On their website, they will have local seminars coming up. If you don't see it on their site, I would recommend, calling and finding that out. go to your first information session. Your first information session is going to answer all of the questions you have. And if they don't answer the questions that you have, then you can ask the questions literally there. They can answer your questions, right? That's going to be the main step one. This is going to be my disclaimer for NACA. My disclaimer. NACA, you have to be patient with NACA. It is a great program. Don't get me wrong. It's a great program. But because so many people try to go through the program, and you know, I would say you're assigned to a counselor, right? In the NACA program. If for some reason this counselor leaves, which that was my personal experience, every time I had a counselor, they would be there for a couple of months. I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and then they would leave. So now it feels like I'm starting all over again with another counselor, and it was like a repetitive thing. I think I went through NACA for at least 6 months, and I remember I was like, this is not going to work for me. I didn't like it was a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of repetitive things that I had to discuss. And so I felt like I'd rather just go another route. And when I say another route, I just paid my $5,000 down payment. I went with a regular loan officer. I got qualified for a loan, not through NACA, because I just didn't want to be held up. And I had a deadline, a timeline for myself. And I went through that entire process. So it really depends on you. But if you're looking to do NACA, I just want to give that disclaimer that if you're willing, and I feel like if I had the mindset and I knew that, then maybe I would have started NACA a long time ago. I wouldn't have dragged my feet, right? So if you know your timeline is in 1 year to be within a home, then you know to be on top of everything. And what I will also say is don't leave it up to your counselor. You got to be on top of everything. You got to treat it like it's your job. It's your job to get in that house, because it's a great opportunity for somebody looking to get into a home with no money down. It's a great opportunity. And especially with the whole house hacking and the multifamily, you don't have to, let's say you decide I don't want to do NACA. You can still do exactly what I'm talking about through a regular home loan process, right? This is just the benefit of the no down payment with NACA, which is obviously why you're watching this video. But I wanted to, be transparent and be honest with you guys, because I know sometimes people will make it seem like, it's all of these things, and it's a great program, but it has some downfalls, if I'm being honest. So you want to run your numbers before you even buy a home, before you even put an offer in on a home. You want to know what the numbers in that neighborhood look like. How much is how much are rents in that area? How much is your mortgage estimated to be, right? All of these things are going to give you an idea on if the numbers make sense. You want to do this before you sign your name on the dotted line, right? You have to run your numbers. Nobody's going to run your numbers for you. So you have to be very honest with yourself. One thing I will tell you, which I think is a benefit when you're looking at multifamily, depending on where you live, is that when you're buying a multifamily, you will get credit. So you will be able to buy a house that's more expensive because they know that you'll be able to rent it out. But what I also recommend is that, until you can get it fully rented out, be prepared to pay for the full mortgage yourself. Once you close on your home, you have already run your numbers before you sign your name on the dotted line. Once you get into the home, at that point you want to rent it out. Make sure you check out my other videos. I talk about what tools and resources I use on being a landlord. So that way you can, make sure that you're doing everything up to par as a business. You're following all of the proper, protocols. Check your local state laws. Also with renting out units, to make sure that you are following all of those things. But when I tell you, I promise it's not hard. I'm literally sitting in my rental right now. I've been renting this for 5 years. I currently live upstairs, but like I said, the minimum I've paid is $50 a month. So you have to understand that it's real, it's easy. I didn't have anybody to call and be like, oh, how do I do this, whatever. Like, you literally take your time, and it's not hard. If you guys let me know, ask me whatever questions, I can do a Q&A on whatever you guys ask me as well. So if you got this far in the video and you have questions, I'll do a Q&A on being a landlord. I'll answer all of you guys' questions if that's something you would be interested in. It's super simple to get into a home with NACA, living rent free, no down payment. It's simple, it's easy. Check out my real estate playlist where I talk about the different processes, how I've been able to do it, the different resources I've used to even do my leases and everything like that. That way you can just be prepared, and then ask me whatever questions you have down below. I'm excited for you guys to be living rent free. Listen, rent is the biggest bill that we have, guys. So if you can live rent free, as we say from the TikTok family, a win is a win. A win is a win. Oh, a win is a win. that's it. So I'm excited for you guys. Make sure you check out the real estate playlist here. I will see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching another video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.